Next up, we have Molly McCann versus Luana Carolina. McCann coming in as a negative 135 favorite. Carolina coming in as a plus 115 underdog. So very close on the stats in this one. And this is going to be a fun fight, I think. McCann, we saw her in her last fight against Kim. She had a decision win in September last year. She came in with a lot of forward pressure in the striking. She was just completely let loose when she was on the feet. She looked like she was very hungry for the win. Uh, very exciting fight. It was a very competitive fight the whole way through. She does have had a very loose striking technique. It seemed like she was very overly eager in that last fight where she was just throwing overhands and winging hooks from, out of nowhere. It was crazy. She did end up getting dropped in the first round, but it was from a head clash, and it didn't slow her down at all, though. She's very tough. She got right back up and just kept the pressure on the entire time. It seemed like it didn't even phase her. She was able to throw a lot of nice elbows from the open. She should, I think, in this coming up fight, keep that same intensity, but just with a little bit more composure. Tighten up the strikes a little bit, and I think she can go far in the division because she's super tough and she has pretty powerful striking. With Carolina, she had a decision win over Godinez in October of last year, and she's more of a Muay Thai fighter. I believe she's a Muay Thai champion. She is a bit taller, does have a bit of a reach advantage, and in her last fight, she had some really nice knees to the body and head from the clinch like you'd expect. She's pretty good from the clinch with her Muay Thai background. But she did get controlled quite a bit in the clinch, meaning her back was up against the cage quite a lot in that fight. She did get taken down and was controlled, so it seems like her wrestling, her escapes, maybe not up to par if McCann's going to be able to take her down. I'm not sure that she's going to be able to get back up very easily. She was close to being finished in that first round in her last fight by armbar, so she wrestling and grappling may be her weakness, and that may be what McCann tries to exploit in this coming up bout. After her first round, though, it was kind of weird. She did end up having good takedown defense, so I don't know after the first round. In the first round, she did get taken down. She was controlled a lot. But after the first round, her coaches must have said something to her. I don't know, or her opponent just got tired, but she had great takedown defense after that and was able to tire out Godinez, I think, from just all the takedown attempts that Godinez was not able to get. And she does have pretty good leg kicks. So my thoughts are that McCann is going to try to clinch up and throw strikes from the inside and take away that reach advantage, 69 inches to 62-inch reach advantage in favor of Carolina. And I think McCann is going to win. I'm going to call this one actually in the second round because I think McCann's going to come out with so much pressure in that first round. It's going to soften her up. And come the second round, I'm not sure, based on that last fight, that even though Carolina won, she did not seem nearly as hungry and eager and desperate for the win as McCann. So I'm calling it for McCann in the second round by TKO. You got any thoughts, Vern?
Yeah, this was a fight that I looked at as well. I just try to watch as many fights as I could on the undercard, or I guess on the card. And in looking at the stats, I was like, this is not going to be an interesting fight to watch because McCann just won by decision, and so did Carolina. But you watch those fights, and they're very exciting decision wins, I think. McCann against Kim, I thought she lost. This is a fight I mentioned in the past when I believe in talking about Kim's up-and-coming fight. I thought she lost, but I thought McCann definitely had the crowd on her side cheering for her. McCann had a great spurt the last 20 seconds of the fight that I think clearly won the fight for her because she just was able to keep swinging. I agree with the lack of cleanliness in her striking. Definitely has pressure. She can take a punch. She was fighting another fighter with a reach advantage that was just, beyond ridiculous. With kickboxing experience, she was able to move and, keep that pressure up. And that definitely won her the fight. With Carolina, I think that she definitely needs to work on her wrestling and prioritize it. I believe she mentioned that in her victory with versus Lupi. But Lupi had fought a week before, so I think that might have affected her ability. Lupi was the smaller fighter, but was able to, take her down and control her somewhat on the ground. So this is going to be, I think, Strickler versus Grappler fight. I hope it stays standing. so that I can see what McCann's pressure is really like. And
That is a great. That's a great point you made about Lupe in her fight. She had gone up a weight class and I think was on a 1 week turnaround or something crazy like that. So the fact that, and that might explain why in the first round she was able to take her down and control her, and after that she just didn't have the gas tank. But I think that says something too. If the smaller fighter, who's on a 1 week turnaround is able to control you that much, what's somebody going to do like McCann, who's actually in that weight class and, has good preparation time. And also, if you just look at the output, McCann's fight was definitely much more exciting than Carolina's. Carolina's total strikes in her last fight was 86, whereas McCann, I think, had, 130 total strikes in her fight. So it was definitely more of a stand-up battle between McCann and Kim, even though McCann still got 2 takedowns and still had some control time. And Kim also had some takedown attempts and had some control time. So to get that many strikes when there was also some grappling going on, I feel like McCann's going to be the volume, or putting out the volume that's going to overwhelm Carolina and ultimately take her out.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if this fight ends up being fight of the night, and hopefully getting more people to start following the female fans, the female fighters. These girls definitely put on their last fight exciting matches. I was telling you, I was not excited about watching it, seeing that there were decision victories, and seeing that a lot of their recent victories or recent fights have been decisions. It's crazy the amount of decisions these two have, but I believe that they've been close and exciting fighters to watch, and these are going to be those kind of fighters that bring it every time.
Absolutely.
West Coast Hot Boy.